This announcement is quite literally front page news. You look at the front page of this morning's Pittsburgh Post-Gazette and it says, PG to cease publication in big, bold letters.
And that's the headline that has everyone still talking today.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette will stop the presses in May.
It's the end of an era. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the city's longest-serving newspaper, shuttering its doors after more than 200 years.
Yeah, we've been covering this story all day. And in just a minute, we're hearing from the journalist whose work has graced the Gazette's pages. It's a conversation that you don't want to miss.
The Sunday paper is an institution. What does it mean? The Pittsburgh's longest running paper going away. Before we read the fine print, it's not the only story that has Pittsburgh talking. From small town mergers to cereal box shout outs, we begin with some transportation hiccups. That's today's Bird's Eye View.
Starting next week, expect some delays and disruptions if you ride the T into Pittsburgh.
So crews will start rail grinding on the light rail system. Now work begins next Wednesday on the Red Line between Overbrook Junction and the Allegheny Station. Now most of this work is going to be done overnight between 9 at night and 4 in the morning, Wednesdays through Sundays. It's expected to last though through March.
And that's not the only work PRT is doing next week. Starting next Friday, light rail service downtown will be suspended for 8 consecutive weekends for electrical maintenance.
They're just talking about it for now, but 2 communities in Butler County say they might feel stronger together.
KDKA investigator Megan Schiller joins us from downtown Mars to talk about how people who live in both areas can get involved. Megan.
Dishing out slices, business owner Michael Pareka thinks this is just the beginning for Mars.
I think it is trending the right way. The analogy I would make is it's like a caterpillar getting out of its cocoon.
But that transition could soon include a merger with Adams Township.
More than 19,000 pounds of cereal were unloaded today at a local food bank, and it all started with an email from a 13-year-old. Ender Lynn, a student at Community Day School, wrote a letter to Kellogg's as part of an extracurricular project. Lynn asked if the company might donate cereal to the Jewish Family and Community Services Food Pantry in Squirrel Hill. And Kellogg's responded with a donation of more than 40 pallets of cereal boxes. The donation was too large for just one pantry, so the food will be distributed to the food bank's entire network across 11 counties.
Ender's request to help our pantry is going to wind up going a lot further.
It makes me feel really grateful and happy that they listen and they went out of their way to help us.
Yeah, we wanted to end there with something sweet in your Bird's Eye View today because this next story has maybe a little more of a bitter taste. It's what all of you were talking about yesterday.
Absolutely. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette announced yesterday the newspaper will cease publication in May. So we wanted to bring in Andy Sheehan and Natalie Bensavenga. Both of you are former writers for the Post-Gazette. I wanted to start with you, Andy. I mean, you worked for the Post back in the 80s. What was your reaction to all of this?
Back before you were born, Mikey.
Not quite, but thanks for that.
You were itty bitty.
Yeah, I was.
Your question?
Yeah. So what was your reaction to?
Oh, it's very sad. I mean, you know, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette and before that, the Pittsburgh Press. These were 2 great newspapers, and I worked at the Post-Gazette for 8 years before I came to KDKA, and they were just wonderful places to work. They, you know, covered the news on so many different fronts, you know, that can't be really matched so much, you know, honestly by us or other news mediums. You know, they just had so many reporters and, you know, film critics and restaurant critics, theater critics, columnists, you know, religion writers, these sorts of things. Covered Pittsburgh like a blanket, and the loss of that is just so devastating to the city.
We need local journalism. We need it. You know, it's interesting watching everything that has kind of transpired, not just over the last couple of weeks, but really the last couple of years. You know, we've seen what's happened in more recent weeks with City Paper, which is also owned by the Block Communication. But there's been this ongoing strike that just recently ended. We know that there were some Supreme Court decisions that recently came down. There's been just so much wrapped up in kind of leading up to this event happening. Natalie, I wanted to talk to you about your time working at the Post-Gazette as well, and really kind of, as Andy was saying, this end of an era for local journalism.
I'm still processing this, you guys, because I remember the first day I walked into the Post-Gazette in 2014. I was the news scene editor, so I was covering all of the events, the glittery things of the city, all of the community engagements. And it felt like a real newsroom. It was so robust. There were people yelling and papers flying. You felt like you were on like a movie set, but it was real life. And over the course of that 6 years, you know, I saw the deterioration of that space when they moved over to the North Shore, how it felt so quiet. There were less of us and less of us. And then when I left in 2020, that was really when the rumblings of this strike that just, you know, was finalized and finished was starting to take shape. So I've really seen the decline of it. And I have to say, I feel so heartbroken, not just for the journalists, not just for everyone that's involved with the day-to-day publication, but for our communities. Because we will not have the watchdogs, the accountability, the community press to share all of the wonderful things happening in the nonprofit sector and the community spaces that really help create a vibrant city. We're the second largest city in the state. What does this say about Pittsburgh and the region?
Right, absolutely.
Well, you know that newspapers have been dying now for 30, 35 years.
To the web and
Right. I mean, there used to be an excuse to print money. You know, when I started working at the Post-Gazette, they had, you know, Horns and Kaufman's, the department stores. They had all the automobile sales. They had all the classifieds. And all that stuff went away with the internet. And so they are, you know, these papers have been bleeding money, and most of them have gone out of business. Now, the latest thing was this strike. You know, the reporters and the Guild, you know, they took pay cuts. They took, you know, cuts to, you know, didn't get a raise for more than 15 years. And then, you know, the Post-Gazette, you know, cut their health benefits, and that brought about this court fight. So, you know, this was a court decision that said the Post-Gazette had to pay retroactively to this, to the union, and Post-Gazette said they couldn't do it. Now, whether the Post-Gazette whether this was just inevitable, whether that was just sort of the nail in the coffin, you know, we don't know.
Natalie, how are you feeling about this? I mean, I almost feel like what's left in the city? How are we supposed to get our news from a varied source?
Right. I mean, as an independent journalist now, I'm extremely concerned. I'm actually going to be chatting with Steve Mellon from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette later today for my Substack, and I think we're going to be leaning on independent journalists now more than ever. But what concerns me here as well is this finality, this idea that they're just saying we're going to sell, and maybe there will be other things that come out later that they're going to say, oh, we've been trying to sell it and it didn't, or excuse me, that we're going to close, that we've been trying to sell it and it didn't work. But, you know, I work with Duquesne University. I was one of their fellows for their Institute for Ethics and Integrity in Journalism and Media. And there's so many publications that are figuring this out, that are learning how to pivot, that are pulling in and creating bridges between independent and collaborators and legacy spaces. So this idea that the inevitable is the inevitable, I don't completely agree with that, because I do think there are other avenues, but you have to be willing to listen, and maybe they just wouldn't do that.
I do, like in my heart, believe that at some point, and it may not happen in the next couple of years, it might be 5 or 10 years, but I do think there's going to be this reversal. I think that people are going to see the value in what true journalism can do. So I hope and really believe that will happen.
You know, getting back, it was just a great environment to be in.
Yeah.
These were, you know, very smart people, these editors and reporters, some of them very eccentric, a lot of characters. But these were professional journalists. To get your information from professional journalists is so important, rather than sort of the Wild West on the internet.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you both.
Thank you. Thanks for weighing in and continuing the conversation, for sure. All right, I don't know if we still have time for this, but we really kind of wanted to end on maybe a little bit of a lighter note. In Pittsburgh, some things don't change, as we know.
Yeah, the black and gold, the terrible towel, and the here we go Steelers. Here we go. All right, so it's not just a cheer, it's a rally cry. And in-town football is a way of life. So getting the chance to keep that season going with the win over the Ravens has everyone wondering, could Pittsburgh be going to the Super Bowl? Yep. Try not to sing it, right? The song stays the same, but the lyrics changed since its inception in 1994. It's updated year after year to reflect the new players on the roster, including this year's new quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Now, for Steeler fans, it's a tradition to look forward to, and long before streaming and social media, this song had a very different life. KDKA reporter Barry Pintar stepped back in time with the song's producer, Ryan Wood, to see how it's evolved.
In the old days, tell me that story. You would make cassettes and people could buy them.
It started out cassettes. It was a single, one song on a cassette, and yes, you had to buy it. And
you sold how many?
No, the first year that they went to Super Bowl in '96, it was about 80,000. And
you kidding?
Yeah, and we had them in all these great stores like Hills and Farmore and National Record Mart.
I feel like this is a song of my childhood.
I know. You know what? I had no idea. Because I didn't pay attention close enough to realize that the lyrics were changing.
Oh yeah.
Every single year, because like he said, the song stays the same. But
I'm not sure. I think it's when the team significantly changes is when the lyrics will change.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. And the fact that they had to take their tapes to Farmore. Do you remember Farmore?
Oh my goodness, do I ever.
Blast from the past. That's very interesting.
Still to come on Talk Pittsburgh. Look who's here. Yep. Do you have a favorite Here We Go lyric? I know you're not a Pittsburgher you are in your heart, but not.
No, I love the song. I always, just the chorus there is just, the Here We Go. It's classic, Yeah, that's the best part to me.
Okay. All right, we're going to check in with you in just a bit, too. We're looking forward to it.
Great, thanks, Ron. And later, a steamy TV show is inspiring a fitness movement across the globe. Why its stars are driving people to the gym. Plus, some hockey-inspired workouts you can do at home.
Plus, a social media misstep leads to a spiral of guilt, worry, and big questions. Natalie B is sticking around. She's going to be back to offer her advice right after the break. Today we're talking about those moments that make you second guess everything. A shift in a relationship or a mistake that you can't stop replaying.
When fear and uncertainty take over, it helps to have a voice of reason. And that's where Natalie Bensavanga comes in. She is here to provide some insight, starting with our first situation. And this is a good one. So my wife says she's not attracted to me lately and blames work stress. She says it's temporary, but she's been dressing up more for the office and guarding her phone, which worries me. She's also going on a work trip and brushed off the idea of me joining. I'm scared this might be more than stress. We've been married 4 years and we're hoping to start a family soon, but now I'm not sure where we stand.
So I was talking with Ron about this off camera, and he was like, "It's over."
Oh, he was just like, done.
He's like, done. It doesn't bode well. Because usually when you see a drastic shift in behavior, there's something going on.
Yeah.
And whether or not she's really just having some kind of existential crisis or not, there's clearly a breakdown in communication here. But I don't know about you guys, but this is starting to smell like there's an emotional thing going on with someone else at work, or maybe even a physical thing. But I think the problem here is he's not talking to her about it.
Yeah.
Right? And so I was trying to give the advice of, you have to just confront this.
Yeah.
And I know that can be very awkward for people that are maybe more avoidant in behavior, but what's going on in his head is probably worse than maybe what has actually transpired in reality.
Right. And maybe she's just, gosh, especially coming out of the pandemic, I think we all went through that slump. Like, what did I do? Why am I still in my pajamas? Like, I got to pull it together. Like, I want.
Yeah.
And so if you're on these opposite levels of like, I want to be polished and up here now, and you're still.
Yeah,
and
that could be part of it too, and I appreciate that as well. But the guarding of the phone,
I know that's very suspicious.
I don't know. If it was just the clothes, I'd be like, look, I'm just trying to do a little glow up here, but this is a little more than that.
And I know that this is a man who wrote in, but typically us as women, I think the strongest thing that we have is our intuition and our gut, and to trust that.
Yeah, and he should follow that too.
Absolutely.
I agree, Mikey.
Okay, conversations need to be had though, for sure.
Always.
This is an interesting situation because it's kind of a reversal of roles. I think a little bit. So this says, actually, is this the right one? The other day I did something completely out of character at a music venue. I left a series of rude comments on the band's social media pages. I'm thinking about one of our other prompts. The next day I felt awful and posted an apology, and then another, even more remorseful one. Yesterday, I'm in my late 60s, normally a good-natured person. So this has me really shaken. This person is wondering if it's uncharacteristic of them, but is it a signal of something else? Like, do they need help? And I wonder what this is.
You know, it was funny when this person emailed me. I read this one a couple of times because I'm like, there's really not a lot happening here. It's okay, we've all done this. But then when I realized she was really concerned about her mental health and and dementia and all of these other things.
There was more to it.
There was more to it. But I think we can't discount the level of collective anxiety that everyone has felt. Like you were just talking about the pandemic. We've never really grappled with that. We're in the midst of a lot of chaotic things happening at the national level, let alone in people's own lives. So when you compound all of that, sometimes you lash out. I think we've all done that.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like if this is an isolated incident and she felt all this remorse and she reached out to, I guess, the band. I mean, it was so cute how she reacted.
Yeah.
So for me, I took it as I think your level of anxiety is peaking and you are just emotionally vomiting. But if this kind of thing starts to continue where you're noticing on yourself these changes of behavior, then yeah, maybe reach out to your PCP if you have one, or try to schedule something so you could get some tests done to at least put your mind at ease, because that is the age where you could start to see neurological issues happening.
Yeah, and this is a good reminder. I know yesterday we were just talking about people who leave negative comments on social media and how we interpret
I don't know anything
those.
about that.
Nothing about them. But it's just. I don't want to say it's good to know, but it's to look at it from the perspective of that person maybe going through something really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless you, my Angel. Angel.
Thank you so much. Always happy when you're here. If you would like to read more of the Ask Natalie advice column, we're going to link you up on our website. Go to kdka.com/talkpittsburgh.
And pick up your phone and help to decide what Natalie tackles the next time she's here. Well, here's an option one. A woman just moved in with her fiance only to find out his ex-wife still has a key and uses it whenever she wants.
Stop it.
They say it's for the sake of co-parenting, but with a wedding coming up, she's wondering if this is a serious boundary issue.
Okay, and this is the role reversal I was thinking of. Option two, a daughter who loves her mom deeply but feels like she's being treated as a bank account. Her mom calls it a loan, but then never actually pays it back. And keeps shopping online. So how do you help a parent without enabling them? You can vote by scanning on these two options. Scan the QR code on your screen or go to kdka.com/connect.
Those are two good ones. Well, don't go anywhere. Talk Pittsburgh. We'll be right back with a look at your forecast.
Okay, as promised, waking up to warmer temperatures. Ron, I don't know what was happening in your house.
Okay.
But I had
Not much.
I had two girls early this morning who were adamant about wearing shorts today.
I knew you were going to say that because I was confused too. I'm like, do I wear shorts today or do I put on my thermals? I don't know. I'm confused.
I mean, low 30s this morning. You know, we're seeing high temperatures into the mid 50s. We actually have warmer weather on the way though. We're going to be up there near 60 degrees. And tomorrow morning, unlike this morning, our morning lows are just going to be into the 40s. So it's actually going to be, I mean, you could make the argument there at least that you could put in shorts. I'll probably be in shorts, so I shouldn't say too much. Hey, warm weather holds through Saturday. Rain chances are set to return tomorrow, though, so just be aware of that. Our best chance for rain, I want to show you model data in a second, is coming before noon on your Friday. Sunday's the big day. That's our what I'm calling a transition day. Temperatures will be dropping. It's going to be windy, and we'll have a chance for some snow showers. Now, speaking of rain, this is a 2-day total that we're looking at right here. You'll notice a couple of things. More rain down to the south, east of Pittsburgh. That's where we're expecting most of the rain. And over 2 days, even though we have this chance for rain, look at our rain totals. They're not going to be very impressive at all. Just 1/10 of an inch to 1/5 of an inch of rain. Most places, if you're south of I-70, you might see upwards of about 1/half of an inch of rain. What about temperatures? They're going to hold on the warm side, both today, Friday, and Saturday. And then the big dip coming next week as soon as we're getting into Sunday. Hey, we got a big game going on Monday as well. Did want to give you not just the game forecast, but the tailgating forecast. The gates for tailgating opening at 3:15 on Monday afternoon. Temperatures should be into the low 30s there. And at game time, I'm expecting those temperatures near 30. Hopefully, a big Steeler win coming just after that.
Oh,
we all hope
to
so.
hear that. Well, that warm weather sounds amazing.
Yep.
Thanks,
yep.
Ron.
Enjoy while it lasts.
Hey, you guys want 30 square? Hey, Linda. Can you give these kids some money? I don't have my wallet.
Ooh, okay. Swimsuit season won't be here for another 6 months, but the stars of hockey romance TV show Heated Rivalry are inspiring people to get in shape in January.
Some people online said this show inspired them to renew their gym memberships. So we're hopping on this trend. Our producer scoured the internet and put together a U.S. hockey approved training in less than 10 minutes.
So will we become certified snacks or get sent to the penalty box? These workouts involve hand-eye coordination and endurance, so wish us luck. I have to also say, well, the show has been a huge success. It's also based on a book.
Yes.
So
there you go.
Like to
Okay,
read.
so this is we're going to do our first exercise here. So this first game is a tennis ball. It's called the tennis ball toss. And so we need one tennis ball, and we need to stand facing each other a couple of feet apart.
Thank
and then
you.
we're going to toss the ball to each other on the same side of our bodies.
Okay.
And then do it again, and then crossbody.
Okay, so you're tossing to
I'm tossing
my
to your
left
right.
hand, you're tossing with your right.
Right, okay.
And we're gonna see how much we could. This actually, it's like an accessory for me today.
It is,
because
because it matches.
And as we understand this from Brittany, this is actually something that they would teach in hockey camps.
Okay.
Is that right, Brittany? Alante, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. And I think that we got this. So now I'm gonna toss to
the other
your
opposite.
dominant
Okay,
hand.
there we go. That was aggressive there.
Okay, there we go. Over here. I think we nailed that one.
Okay, we got it.
Pretty sure. Sorry. I'm just tripping people with my hockey stick.
All right, so
Okay,
the second game is, it's a stick toss.
Okay.
So we need one hockey stick. We hold it vertically, and then the same as the tennis ball, we toss the stick to the same side of your partner's body, then crossbody.
So I'm gonna start with my right hand because
Okay,
it's
good.
already there.
Okay, good.
All right, so you ready?
To my left, which is not my dominant.
I'm gonna get just a little closer.
Okay, that's
I don't
probably
want to hit
wise.
you in the face.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go.
Ooh.
I think when we tried this before, we had what end of the stick do you call?
No.
Yeah. Okay. See, we're fans.
We are.
But only because of the show.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
One more time, and then let's try over here.
Switch.
Yep.
And
it's easier when it's your dominant
is.
hand, right? Okay, now try over here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to toss over here to you. There we go.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say that we're pros at this, but I'm just saying if the Pens want to call us up,
we're available.
We could teach some tricks.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, the last game is the partner stick sprint. This one is going to be a lot of fun. So each person holds the hockey stick standing on the butt end.
And here you go.
Yes.
This is Alante and Pat Dam trying this out.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, so all we have to do is stand a few feet apart, and then we decide when we let go of the stick, and then we have to grab our partner stick before it
As you can
around.
see.
Yeah.
Ron, don't laugh at us.
Please don't.
Okay, flip it around, Mikey.
Oh, yeah.
You just explain.
I did.
Follow
This
your
is
rules.
very complicated. Okay.
So I'm just, don't slip on the papers. You're gonna come on this side.
On that side.
I'm gonna
You're
go on
gonna
that
this
side.
Okay.
All right, are you ready?
Ready?
We should get closer.
Should we look in each other's eyes?
3,
Okay.
2, 1. Nailed it.
Oh.
Nailed
Oh,
it.
that was so smooth.
All right,
Okay,
one more
let's
time.
try it
Let's
again.
do it one more time.
Okay. And so I go, wait, I go
You're
that
gonna come
way.
over here.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna go over there. See, not only is this hand-eye coordination, it's also teamwork.
It is.
Try this
You
in the
have
office.
Have to have a teammate. Okay, here we go.
3, 2, 1. Boom.
Whoa.
Huh. Quicker than you thought, huh?
That felt
All right,
good.
we're gonna try this one more time. I wanna back up just a little bit.
You're gonna back up.
Just a little bit. Let's
Okay.
see how fast we can really be.
It's going to require us to run a little faster.
Honestly, I'd like to see Sidney Crosby try this in heels, okay?
Is that a challenge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honest, ready?
There we go.
3, this is gonna be faster than I do. 3, 2, 1. I made it. I made it. Did I almost break an ankle? Maybe.
Yeah.
Short-term
That's fine.
disability is a real thing. It can happen.
What does this prove? Does this prove that we're ready for the team, or that
it proves anything?
It was fun.
Just gets your heart racing on what day is it? Thursday.
Thursday.
All right, don't go offside. We still got 2 more periods of Talk Pittsburgh to go. If you need a refresher, that's 40 minutes.
All right, and next we're taking you through our photo roll in today's Family Feed and revealing our Talk Pittsburgh question of the week, and we will be right back. All right, it is Thursday, which means it is time for our Family Feed, and I love this portion of the show.
I do too. We're gonna start with you, Mikey. I do feel a little chaotic. We don't normally have this many papers.
We don't. It's just a lot going on today.
Yeah,
it's a busy
shuffling.
show.
All right, so what's been going on with you?
So I try not to give Logan sweets at home. Like
good for you.
I don't buy it. I mean, there might be a graham cracker around or two, but the only time that he does manage to get sweets is at daycare or at school, whatever you want to call it. And you can tell when he has something good, it looks like almost like he's in trouble. Like, my mom is not seeing this right now. I have a whole cupcake, and I'm going to enjoy every single bite. This picture It just, I don't know, it made me laugh and smile at the same time because he knows.
Oh,
but it's
I
fine.
love him.
Yes. No.
Is that a chocolate cupcake?
It's a chocolate cupcake.
Good for him.
And I asked when I saw him that day, I said, oh, you had a cupcake today. And he just looked at me like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't judge me, Mom. Let me have my cupcake.
So it's always fun getting those pictures from daycare.
I'm glad that they send them. That's a good update. Parents love to get those, I know for sure.
How about you?
So we were busy over our break, over the holiday break, getting Rocco's room really ready. So I had done Lila's room and Sunny's room, and I really wanted to make sure that Rocco had a space that he could enjoy too, and he's really into soccer right now. So I wanted to show you the before. There wasn't much to it. He had this kind of like loft bed in there, and we had some curtains on there, and the little underneath, which I really loved, he could hang all of his costumes on, but he was playing with some of the stuff less and less.
That's such a cool bed though.
I know. So, and it's going to another family. We're very happy that they're going to make good use of it, but we wanted to turn it into like his big boy room. So I took a little video this morning. We are waiting on a couple more accent pillows.
No girls allowed.
Except Mom.
Okay, love that. Look at that.
So here's his room. So Frankie, the loft bed was up against the now faux brick wall, but Frankie hung this paneling from, I think, Home Depot.
My gosh.
Up on the wall. There was a lot of bad words that were said, but he got it up in a day.
Yes.
And I got him the little soccer lamp. I have to get a couple more little decorations, but I even got this field green, like lime green kind of rug to put down so it looked like the field, and a soccer pillow, and then those little accents for the wall for all of his footballs and baseballs.
This is so cute. This is such a big boy room. This is better than my bedroom. Like,
well, I liked the curtains too because they were. I got them at IKEA, but they reminded me so much of like a referee shirt. So I wanted to like put these nods in without it feeling so overwhelming in one direction, because everybody who knows kids knows that they're into Barbies one day, they're into something else the next day. Like he was into superheroes and dinosaurs and Mario Kart and like.
But I feel like if he's not into soccer next year, the room is set up where you can change it up
around
really
a little
easily.
bit.
Whose idea was the faux wall? Was that yours?
Well, I think it was like I think we co-decided. Okay. I feel like we were like, you know, we should do something. Yeah. And that's how we decided. Fun. Well, we are wrapping up the first full week of the new year. So on this Friday Eve, we are asking you, this is our question of the week, what's one thing you're excited about in 2026?
You know what? I'm just excited to have some fun.
Are you?
Yeah,
you're doing it.
Right, because I mean, coming off of being postpartum, I mean, I really feel like I'm getting back to myself, and I can look in the mirror and say, oh yeah,
I love that for you,
Mikey. So I want to enjoy.
I'm really happy for you. That's great stuff.
Thank you.
We'll be here.
All right, well, we know many of you are excited for the NFL draft coming to Pittsburgh this spring. And if you just can't wait, imagine those athletes finally hearing their name called and getting pulled up to the league. We're sharing more on some of the top players from our area to make it to the pros.
And are you ready to leave self-doubt at the door this year? Stay tuned to learn easy ways to show up bolder, brighter, and more confident in 2026. That's next.
There's no time like the present to show up a little bolder and more confident. And confidence isn't just about mindset, it's about posture, presence, and how you carry yourself before even saying a word.
Truly, if confidence were a muscle, we are getting ready to start the workout with Kristen Goss of Goss Boss LLC. So good to see you.
Nice to see you.
We were just talking, and I think it was earlier this week, about this lemon test. Have you ever heard it? Where you pretend that you have a lemon, you smell the lemon, you taste the lemon, and your brain can actually somewhat trick itself into eating it. And I think it's so much about how we talk to ourselves. Saying one negative thing can impact this whole thing.
Yes. So much of confidence is your mindset.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, I want to say too that confidence is a skill. It's something that you practice and that you work on, just like learning how to read, how to drive. You do not wake up one day and you're confident. You're not born confident. It is definitely something you have to do and work on.
Yeah, and I know one of the biggest things is your posture and your body language. Yeah. Where do you even start with that? I mean, I know my posture isn't always the best because we work at a computer all day long, and so you're kind of slumped over.
Yeah.
So I know that's not good.
Right. So the mind and body work together. And so once your body learns a couple tricks, then it can send signals to your mind and to your nervous system and help you appear more confident and less stressed.
Is it kind of like the you're on signal? Like, oh, standing straight, backs shoulders back, like we're on.
Yes, you have to be. You definitely have to be very mindful. And you know, in 2026, we are a visible society, whether that's virtually, whether that's in person. So there's definitely some time that you have to take when you prepare to be in front of people.
Okay, so fix our posture.
So what should we be doing with our posture? People at home can do this too.
As Heather knows, and maybe the audience knows, I am a photographer by day, so a lot of this posture and posing work does come from my career in photography. But first things first is to stand up nice and tall. And I did not coin this, but I learned this from someone who teaches posing, but almost think of yourself as a marionette, right? So you have that string and they are just, you're pulling it nice and tall, right?
Yes, yes.
And so you want to stand up nice and tall.
Got it.
And you do want to open your chest. You don't have to puff out too much.
I'm open.
Open up the chest a little bit. And
now this is going to feel awkward, right?
Yes,
because
correct.
But I don't know if this looks awkward on camera, but
yeah, so I mean, the number one rule in photography is that it feels awkward. If it feels uncomfortable, it looks great on camera.
Yeah.
So yes, this will feel uncomfortable at first, but again, it's something that you practice. So you want to make sure that you stand up nice and tall.
Okay. And what do you do with your feet? Because I'm noticing that you're putting like one foot forward.
So I stagger my feet a little bit, and this just helps distribute the weight. And especially as women, when you distribute the weight, you want to put a little bit more weight on your back leg. And so lean into it a little bit. Okay. And then my favorite thing, and my clients know this, and so this is a shout out to all of my clients, but we like to hinge and lean in forward a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So you're standing up nice and tall, you're keeping that back very straight, but you are just bending at the belly button and leaning just a little bit.
Especially for pictures too. Right. I think one of the biggest things is just when we're standing still. I think it can say a lot about how you're feeling if you walk into a room and you're kind of closed off like this. It can feel like you're uncomfortable. It's very visible.
Or fidgeting.
Yeah.
I know that's another big one.
So how are we supposed to stand, like when in a normal conversation, this is going to exude confidence too, to really kind of show up our best selves?
So people tend to shrink themselves, and so that is the number one indicator whenever you meet someone or you see someone in person. If they're shrinking, if they are crossing their arms across their chest, if they're putting their hands in their pocket, if they're trying to shrink down or hunch, if they're speaking quietly and not, speaking with intention. So, when it comes to that, just do as we said, practice good posture, roll your shoulders back, take a deep breath, and the power of the pause and the power of rest, right?
Yeah.
We are a society, a hustle society. We go, 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 and sometimes we talk too fast. We want to rush through things because we're nervous, but take a beat, take a rest, and just embrace that.
Really quickly, I know for me, I try to run to the grocery store really quickly, and I'm like, I look a mess, but I hope I don't run into anyone. What's the importance of kind of putting your hair together, maybe putting on a little bit of makeup in regards to how you feel?
Right, so I think image plays into your confidence level, and it's about learning what feels good for you, what you enjoy. There is a trend that kind of rose out of the pandemic called dopamine dressing. Yes. And so that is all about wearing things that make you feel good, that you enjoy, adding in some bright colors, some textures, some patterns, and just doing what you enjoy.
Make
Life is so short,
happy.
you know?
Yes.
It's
Thank you
all
so
about
much,
embracing that.
Kristen.
Yes.
You are our hero.
Thank you.
Standing straight.
If you would like to learn about the services Kristen offers, including confidence workshops, you can head to our website for more information.
And chin down, especially with the pictures. Don't do this. That's what I normally do.
Oh, the double chin, yeah.
Coming up on Talk Pittsburgh, you remember the Immaculate Reception? But across the city, everyone's talking about the Immaculate Collection. Before the NFL draft comes to Pittsburgh, a big cleanup is kicking off. We're talking to the minds behind it all. That's coming up next.
I think we're all good helpers.
Then let's get started.
Okay.
Clean up, everybody, everywhere. Clean up, everybody, do your share.
And now that song will be stuck in my head for the rest of the day. But it is a good lesson. The NFL draft is only a few months away, and Heather's sitting down with the people behind the Immaculate Collection. Hey, Heather.
You know what? It doesn't matter that that song is stuck in your head. It's a good one. And it's so fitting because a major effort is underway right now to make our city look its best. It's called the Immaculate Collection, a campaign led to deep clean and beautify our city. Joining me now from Allegheny Cleanways, we have Executive Director Kaylee Gruby. We also have Development Director Michelle Lawler and Land Program Coordinator Erica Pasquale. It is so good to talk with you about something that is so very important for our city. I know you were on PTL this morning and just talking about how this is the first impression for some people who have never been to our wonderful city.
Yeah, right when you get out of the airport, the first thing you're going to see before you see any skyline is our highways, and the first thing you'll notice is how clean they are.
That's great. I mean, that's really part of this whole effort. So how did this get underway? How did you decide that you wanted to do this?
Yeah, so a bunch of partners came together and they said, we have this huge opportunity coming up in April to make an impression for hundreds of thousands of folks. How can we work together, put our resources together to really solve issues like litter on highways that have been too complex for us to manage in the past? And how can we get neighborhoods and local volunteers all behind this effort as well?
And truly, one of the biggest reasons why this is so important is because this is a way for us to grow the population of our city. This is a way for us to attract some people who may not have ever considered Pittsburgh as a livable city as we know it is.
It's curb appeal. It's one of the first things you see, and it definitely shows you, like, is this city on its way up? Does it care? Do residents care? Does it do its systems care? So we're really excited to use the NFL draft as this leverage moment to solve a long-term issue that we've seen.
So Michelle, let's talk about the highways because this is a big component of it. And we were talking about some of the construction debris that's left on the side of the roads and kind of almost some of these piles of gravel and dirt that can be a catch-all for litter that's blowing around in the air too.
That's right. And we've been working with local foundations and local corporations to sponsor these miles coming into the city, those main corridors that all these people for the draft are going to be traveling along so that we can get them cleaned up. We've been successful in having every single mile on the Parkway West from the airport to downtown, and also every mile on 28 from downtown to Aspinwall sponsored already. And those cleans have started, and they're taking a break for the winter, but they're going to start again in the spring right before the draft.
That's wonderful.
But we still have a lot of more miles yet to get sponsors for.
That's wonderful. And Erica, talk about some of the efforts that people can be making to help in this effort, because this can't be done alone.
For sure. So we need as much help as we can get. You can get involved by volunteering with our organization. You go to our website, AlleghenyCleanways.org. You'll find all of our cleanups listed there. We're out Thursdays through Mondays. And then you can also go to immaculatecollection.org. And you can find a list of all community cleanups there, as well as our cleanups that are happening around town. And you can organize your own cleanup as well in your community.
I was going to ask about that too. First of all, the areas in which this is kind of targeted, the whole program?
Right, so our crew is focused, we have a crew that's focused on Pittsburgh and Allegheny County.
Okay.
So we do cleanups all throughout the community. But if you're a resident at home and you see that you have litter in your community and you don't have a litter cleanup, reach out to us.
Okay.
We'll work with you on getting the resources and the training to host one.
I do think, especially with so many people coming in, we know that people are going to be taking up Airbnb spaces and hotels in some of our outlying townships and neighborhoods, not just in the city.
Yeah.
So we got to focus on the whole of it.
Sure.
I'm glad that you guys are doing this. Thank you so much for your efforts and being here today. We're going to link you up to the Immaculate Collection's upcoming events and ways that you can get involved. Just go to kdka.com/talkpittsburgh. Still to come on the show, we know that the city is getting ready, but what about the players? We're taking a look at some of the local athletes, new and old, who know what it's like to get that call on draft weekend. Bob Pompiani joins us with a behind-the-scenes knowledge drop. That's coming up next.
Hello? Yeah.
With the 31st pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Cameron Hayward, defensive end, Ohio State.
Goosebumps. Wow. It feels like I'm living that all over again. One phone call, that's all it takes to reshape a young man's future forever. And in 105 days, Pittsburgh will be the place where those futures are decided as the NFL Draft comes to the Steel City.
It's really exciting. Every Wednesday for the last 9 months, the KDKA sports team has been counting down the best players from our region to make it to the big stage in a series we call Draft It. And so we wanted to know, how do you possibly narrow it down to 52?
That's right. right. I don't know. There are some important people doing it. KDKA Sports Director Bob Pompiani is giving us a sneak peek into the process of choosing which athletes get chosen and how they get ranked.
Hello, Heather and Mikey. You know, it isn't easy, but you knew pumping ain't easy either, right? But it's a challenge our sports team has really loved taking on. Our goal, originally here, to promote the upcoming NFL draft by highlighting some of the local players that have heard their name called during the April tradition. And sure, we could have picked, you know, a few big names, maybe promoted a dozen a few months before the draft began, or we could decide to go big, and that's what we did. We have one player each week for a full entire year ahead of the draft in April here. And so that's what we did. Here are just the few examples, the names that have been drafted over the years. And here are the conditions. They had to have played college or high school ball in this area and then get drafted. Let's take a look back at our most recent, one of the most well-known, and a guy who just squeaked onto the list. And oh, by the way, he's going to be playing against the Steelers on Monday night.
Number 52, Justin Watson.
As a high school player at South Fayette, nobody thought Justin Watson would eventually be considered one of the top players ever drafted from Western Pennsylvania. But just a decade later, he was proving them all wrong. He wasn't highly recruited coming out of high school and took the best scholarship offer he got at the University of Pennsylvania, where he surprisingly became a draft prospect after setting nearly every school record for receiving. In 2018, he was drafted by Tampa Bay in the 5th round.
Number 20, Rob Gronkowski.
Some players changed the game, some dominate it. Rob Gronkowski did both and made it look fun the whole way through. Born in Amherst, New York in 1989, Gronkowski came from a family of athletes. At Williamsville North High School and later at Woodland Hills, playing under the legendary George Novak, he was already a matchup nightmare. Too fast for linebackers, too strong for safeties. He took that raw power and freakish athleticism to the University of Arizona, where he quickly became one of the top tight ends in the country. A back injury sidelined him for the 2009 season, but the NFL still saw his potential. In the 2010 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots took a chance on Gronk in the 2nd round.
Number 16, Jason Taylor.
Jason Taylor's journey to football greatness began in Western Pennsylvania, where he attended Woodland Hills High School. Despite playing for a school known for producing NFL talent, Taylor wasn't highly sought after as a recruit. In fact, he was lightly recruited coming out of high school, partly due to his lanky frame. He stood tall but weighed less than most linemen at the time. Still, Taylor's athleticism and relentless motor earned him a spot at the University of Akron, a mid-major program where he made a name for himself. At Akron, Taylor developed into a dominant force on defense, and by the end of his college career, he racked up over 20 sacks and more than 300 tackles, showing NFL scouts that he had the tools to succeed at the next level. His work ethic, intelligence, and speed off the edge helped him stand out at the Miami Dolphins after they selected him with the 73rd pick in the 1997 NFL Draft. How about that, Jason Taylor, one of the best. I still remember his days on Dancing with the Stars. We just revealed his name last night, as we do each Wednesday in the 5 o'clock hour. So now 15 names remain. We count them down, and we'll continue to do that each week leading up to this year's NFL Draft. Heather, Mikey, do you have any idea who could be number one? There are a lot of great candidates.
Oh, gosh. Well, you know what? Only because we started this segment with Cam.
I think that's a good pick.
I think that's who we should go with.
DeMar Hamlin, maybe? I don't know. But it was wonderful to see Cam Hayward in the emotion, and he was so young.
So crazy to see. And really, I did get goosebumps because I can't imagine that life-changing phone call to get that.
Imagine. It's so much talent coming out of Woodland Hills. I didn't know.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, you can see what player makes our drafted list every Wednesday at 5 o'clock right here on KDKA TV. And we'll be right back.